die.
Yes.
You just don't get any younger. Well, where did I put that?
Saira, good to see you. Do you need anything? That's
Yeah,
convenient, actually. I think I still owe you an explanation. Yes, but let's talk somewhere else. Come on. So, sorry for all the secrecy. I just didn't want anyone else to listen in. Well, that moment when I neutralized the leader of the bandits in Old Dothelgrad, I'm sure you noticed that I was different then. Upset. You choose your words carefully, Saira. I appreciate that. I'll make this quick. There is something about me that you don't know. That no one knows, actually. Do you remember what I told you in the curarium about the destroyed village? Well, I wasn't entirely honest with you. Not all of it, no, and it's true that I don't know how I ended up there. But I remembered something just before I regained consciousness. Some kind of vague memory. A feeling coupled with an image. It's hard to describe because it didn't last very long, but I saw myself, but I was somehow above the rooftops, as if I flew. Below me, I saw all the chaos, the dead, the fire, the devastated houses, and I somehow felt hot, but from inside, as if my blood was boiling. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? I'm sorry, but I don't know how to describe it better than that. It was something that actually happened, I'm sure of it. But the memory, it was somehow blurred. Like a dream, but a very vivid one. Nothing. I woke up, and from there things happened just as I've already told you. But that's not really what I'm trying to get at. In that memory, when I saw all those dead bodies and all that destruction, I felt satisfaction, pleasure. As if all that suffering, all that pain was the most exhilarating thing I'd ever seen. Well, I didn't know what to make of that memory myself for quite a long time. But then, things happened that made me understand. There is something inside my head, Saira. Some kind of second soul, an entity. Most of the time it sleeps, but there are situations in which it wakes up. Mostly when something atrocious happens or has happened. Blood, pain, death. Whenever I'm confronted with these kinds of things, it tries to... I don't know how to put it. Tries to take control of me, and then things like Alt Dothelgrad happen. It's never managed to completely take me over, and it hasn't gotten as far as it did in Alt Dothelgrad for a long, long time now. But that memory from the village, I think that is what happens when I let myself go completely. If that name seems fitting to you, then yes. But I think we both know these stories about ghosts taking over the living are just stories to scare the common folk. If it helps you, think of it as some kind of temptation. One that's just waiting for the moment when I am too weak to contain it. Yes, it is immense, Saira. I can feel it every time it is trying to take me over. I don't even want to think about what would happen if I were to give in completely. I figure. Listen, what happened in Old Dothelgrad? I never should have let it come to that. But that moment when he charged me, the blood on his sword, I just couldn't contain it. And when I gave in, when I hacked him into pieces, I simply felt so thrilled, complete. I was naive to believe it would never get that far again. Naive and stupid. But do you see now? This is the reason why I train so hard, why I always try to control my emotions no matter what people do or say to me. This creature inside me, it's always on the hunt. And the only way I can keep it at bay is by controlling both my body and spirit 100%. Just one moment of carelessness. That's all it takes. I don't know. And truth be told, I'm not sure I want to. No way that I know of, at least. Who should I ask? The apothecary? There are two ways that would go. Either they would ridicule me, or they would take me seriously and report my condition to the Order. Neither way helps me, and who knows what the Order would do if they found out, especially as strained as the situation is right now. I don't know, Sayira. Believe me, I've asked myself that question more than 100 times. And as much as I hate to admit it, yes, there's a chance it did. I'll never find out. Only Master Tyrus, my foster father. He taught me how to contain it by controlling my thoughts. And he also advised me never to tell anyone about it, which I haven't, until today. I don't know, probably because I was afraid you'd tell someone else about what happened in Old Dothelgrad and that would raise suspicions. A coward's move, I know, but it was the best solution I could come up with. I'm sorry. Well, what would be the alternative? Transcribe Pyrean books like the Magisters do all day? Or drop out entirely and pour hot water for the upper city's noblewomen? Look, Sayira, as you already pointed out, there is a chance that this thing inside me is responsible for the massacre in the village. And if that's true, I definitely have a lot of repentance to do, don't you think? And even if it isn't, I want to change things, to make the world at least a little bit better. And yes, I do realize that this means a lot of hardship and hard work for me, but I'm not afraid of that. Do you know why? Because that's what's missing in this world. So many people just talk, and never act, because that would mean that they'd have to actually endure something for what they believe in. One that shouldn't be an exception. Anyway, the one thing I ask of you is to keep silent about what I've told you. It will never come to something like that again, I promise. I'd like some time by myself now, and thanks for listening.
Ah! Yeah, like that.
You're the one they call the Prophet, aren't you? Congratulations on passing the trial, I guess. You're the one they call the prophet,
At the
aren't
horizon,
you?
thy name
Congratulations
is my
on
sacrament,
passing the trial.
and thy path I will honor in life.
Ha! Impressive weapon you carry there. It must be ancient, am I right?
What?
May his light guide you.
Yes? If it's really necessary, what do you want to know? If that were the case, I probably wouldn't be here right now, would I? No, it hasn't. Usually it's just thoughts, and they're almost always there. It's as if there's always something lurking in the dark corners of my mind, just waiting for me to give in. It's tough, to say the least. I don't know if you can relate to that. Honest answer? I don't know, and I don't want to know. As I told you in the Scola, if I really am the one to blame for that massacre in the village, if this memory is real, then the answer to your question is yes. I would transform into whatever this creature is, but it will never come to that. You have my word. Yes, but at what price? It isn't just what happens on the outside when it tries to take me over, Saira. At least not just that. It's what goes on inside. My thoughts, my feelings. Imagine you are walking through a forest, all on your own. Then you hear heavy breathing, sobbing, and as you follow it, you find a wounded hunter. He's been mauled by a bear and is now heavily injured and delirious. I, that is the part of me that is myself, would want to help this man, to get him to safety. But the moment I see blood, the smell of death, these other thoughts start invading my mind. Yes, and that sight, it would arouse it. I can't find a better word for it. If I were to give in, it would... Forgive me, Saira. I can't talk about this. I am sorry. Yeah, it's just odd to talk about it like this. Tattoo? Oh, of course, you mean my mark. I've had that for as long as I can remember, and I don't have the slightest idea as to how I got it. That's what Tyrus said too, but if it has a meaning, it's obscure. I couldn't find anything in the books, and the Magisters couldn't put their fingers on it either. Not without leaving a bad scar, at least according to the apothecary. And even if that weren't the case, I don't know if I'd want it gone. It reminds me of something. No, it isn't. It's just there, that's all. It does. You're the first to tell me that. But thanks, I guess. Well, as I told you, I was never very popular with the other novices. You know, the novitiate was very challenging. The Magisters only rarely gave us days off to contemplate, as they called it. The others usually used it to go to the tavern to gamble and drink. I never really liked that kind of pastime, and I still don't. Never really thought about things like that. You know, life in the temple is quite secluded, and I doubt there are many men or women who would find my way of living attractive. But forgive me, that's very personal. I don't really want to talk about it. That's true, but when I feel the need to relax, I prefer taking a stroll or spending time in the baths. Whatever secret there is about relaxing to loud music, raucous shouting, and alcohol is beyond me. Yes, it is. Master Tyrus, my foster father. He was half Kyranian, as you might have guessed already. Some words just stuck around. It was stitched into the blanket they found me in near that village. I don't really know if it is my actual name, but I had nothing else to go with, so it stuck. Well, what should I think about them? They're disquieting. Speaking of which, recently there's been word from the League of Apothecari up north. They say that their studies on the Red Madness haven't borne fruit yet, and that it is like no disease they've ever encountered. Honestly, that has rid me of the last of my doubts about the cycle being real, just as the Grandmaster said. Let's just hope we can find out how to stop it.
The prodigy, huh? Apparently we owe you for the shard of this sickle storm.
The fabled prodigy. I hope you can live up to what they say about you.
Huh? Can I help you?
Well, there comes a point. Good evening.
Walk blessed.
Be careful, my sir. The streets aren't safe at this hour.
Monsieur?
An obvious license, please. Walk blessed, friend. You look as if you know this area well, don't you?
Ah, there you are. Glad you made it. Come, follow me. There we are. Wait a second. So, wine or pipe? Termatralian brandy, vintage 8190. A real treasure. Consider it a congratulatory gift for passing the trial. Nothing better than a good pipe and a nice sight to go along with it. It's always sad to see how few people can truly appreciate these things. Anyway, tell me, my friend, what is it that drives you? I've been asking that myself since we met. I mean, it's not like anyone's forcing you to play errand boy for Orenthiel, is there? And with your abilities, you could make a fortune as a mercenary. Not to mention the danger you put yourself in. Securing the excavation site, passing the trial, they certainly haven't been easy on you so far. Makes sense. In any case, it's interesting to see how you've gotten from being a magically gifted refugee to the center of all this. Kind of reminds me of a woman I used to travel with, Alicia. No matter where she went, she always ended up in the eye of the storm. We got hired for the same job. Usually I work better on my own, but this partnership was refreshing in every aspect. It felt good to know someone's got your back for a change, especially with the kind of work I do. Which is why we decided to stick together after that first job. And it went great, at least initially. She just cared too much, you know? Yeah, she was a mercenary, but she only ever picked the jobs where she thought she could help people, or at least do no damage. As you can imagine, that doesn't always work out in my profession, and whenever it didn't, she really took it to heart. It was sad, if you think about it, really. We traveled together, and we had sex, so yes, according to most people's definition of it, we were a couple. That was, let me think, about 3 years. Yeah, we went to Araziel, Kira, Arkwend, and one time we even fought a group of Petrified on Lille. She fought as ardently as she lived. I don't know how I would have survived that fight without her. Oh, several reasons. First of all, she was primarily a traveling healer, and used the money she got from those jobs to sustain herself. Secondly, Alicia wasn't all selflessness. She wanted to help people, yeah, but she also wanted to make experiences, I guess. Live like an eagle, love like a madman, and dream like a god. A bit cheesy, yeah, but that was her credo. Well, we were simply too different. I guess that's what it comes down to. Let's face it, I'm a pathetic white knight, and an even worse world savior. Alicia and I, we were just bound to clash. We were lovers, then friends, then lovers again, and so on and so forth. Ultimately, that was just too much for me. Too extreme. Too absorbing. Love as she defined it, yeah. Had it been for her, we would have married after that first night. That's a long story. Not one that puts me in a favorable light. At least if you like most people. Let's save that for another time. Split up. Yeah, that's one way to put it. But anyway, enough about me. What about you? Has there ever been someone in your life? Or have you always been the lone wolf? Huh. Not really the sharing type, eh? Alright, forgive me if I dug too deep. I suggest we continue this conversation another time, then. It was a pleasure, as usual. Keep your chin up.
Back on
Hymn of the Desert King. Dark as the sun, light as the night.
Yes? Good evening.
That's just how it is.
An opulous, nice.
On rocks I stood.
Pathlessness wherever you look. Where is this
What
so
blessed?
knows what he's doing?
This is too dangerous, whatever they want here. If we send spies and they get caught, Nerim will see this as a provocation.
Poor, poor people. All they did was invade a foreign country, and look how ruthless we are, sending spies in order to find out why they're here. We should be ashamed.
Save the sarcasm. We both know what I mean. You know my opinion, Tila.
I will consider it. You come at the right time, Prophet. Commander, explain the situation.
Of course, Grandmaster. Yesterday, we received word from one of our outposts in Duneville. One of the fishermen there saw warships anchoring on an island some miles from shore. And they bear the Nerimese flag.
We have already sent scouts to confirm this, and it is true. The Nerimese have invaded our land. We have a suspicion. I suppose you know that the civil war in Nerim has ended 2 months ago. And who won it? The combined forces of the Northern and the Middle Realm, led by Taranor Korek of Kabait. The Southern rebels and the remnants of the Creator's Temple have been destroyed, once and for all. Now Nerim has been united under the banner of the Free People of Nerim, how they like to call themselves, and this could be the reason for these warships. Because of this Korek.
It is said that he helped Narathzul Aranthiel shortly before the Lightborn were slain. And while before that, he was an opportunist who changed his ideals as often as his underpants, it seems that his crusade with Narathzul converted him, so to speak. He has become a declared enemy of religion.
He also thinks of the death of the gods as the first step of many. and now he sees it his task to rid Vin of religion once and for all. Free the world from the scourge of faith. These are his words.
Though it is worth mentioning that his understanding of freeing includes mass executions and the burning down of temples. He's a fanatic, and worse, his men worship him for it. What he wants is to found a new world, and his free people of Nerim are supposed to be vanguard of it. Not much. Or... yes, there is. He's a narcissist. I was surprised to hear that the banners of his free people are ornamented with a picture of his and an inscription saying, "Praise me." Well, with the small but subtle difference that it was Narazul's vision to restore the human right of self-determination, and not to obliterate every kind of superstition or spirituality.
It is plain stupid to believe a way of thinking can be beaten out of someone's head with just enough violence. The only thing that does is radicalize. Though a world without religion would be a better one, that's without doubt.
Nonsense. The people need a higher power that guides them. You can see what chaos the death of the Lightborn brought on the world, and without your orders doing, all this would never have happened.
Of course. Where were we? Correct.
What Korek doesn't understand is that we're doing this to prevent a crisis. That is the problem. Pigast?
We believe that Korek already knows about the cycle and the cleansing. And that he, how should I put it, wants it to happen. Well, I know how strange this sounds, but in a way it makes sense. For him, Enderal as the home of the Holy Order is the epitome of ignorance and stagnation. And we suppose he even knows that we are fighting these High Ones. But in his eyes, everything a paragon of the old order tries to prevent from happening must be something good. Maybe he even sees the High Ones as prophets of his new era. Who knows? Fanatics are unpredictable.
Right now, this is only an assumption, but we have to know. Yes. Do you know what a silver plate is? Good. Then you know that they possess the power to transfer sound from one plate to the other. Our plan is to place 2 of the plates in their camp. That way we can sound them out without risk. You, Firespark, and the mercenary, Dalvarek. However, you cannot travel to the island by ship. That would be too conspicuous.
We found out that the Pyreans had some kind of underground transporting system. Undertrains, that's what they called them. These trains connected the most important regions of the realm with each other, and thus probably also the temple on the island where Korek's ships set anchor. If we can manage to find one of these trains, we could use them to get right to his camp. And, as it happens, we have information about a Pyrean temple in the Crystal Forest. One that is still intact enough for us to find a way into one of these trains.
The Living Temple.
That's how you call it, yes. But enough of the chit-chat. First of all, we need to find the gem that is used to open the gate of the temple. And I have a guess where we could find it. A village called Fogville, not far from the Whisperwood. As soon as possible. Joseph the mercenary has already traveled to Fogville, and you should do the same. I will meet you there.
So we are talking about accomplished facts, or what?
It is the only way. I'm sorry, Natara. Prophet, I'm counting on you. Find out why Korek is here.
Prophet. I greet you.
Huh? Now look at that. It's the Prodigy.
Blazes, it's dark already? Time really does fly by.
Not much. We haven't yet heard from the keepers old Aranthiel sent overseas, but their armory and weapons seem to belong to an order of mercenaries who normally operate in Nerem or Kira. We'll see. Question of the century. Honestly, I don't know. We might as well be chasing a phantasm, but at this point, it seems to me that the beacon is some kind of channeling device. Sounds confusing, I know, but it reacts very strongly to any magically charged object. But as to how this will serve us against the High Ones, that remains to be seen. Huh? Huh?
Blasted blistering blazes! What the heck took you so long? We've been waiting for ages.
But you only just...
What matters now is that we find the gem that opens the temple doors. You two take care of that. I'll go ahead to the temple and inspect the gate. Any questions? No? Then beat it.
It helps to know what something looks like if you're supposed to find it. At least that's what I've been told.
I already told you that. A small, red gem. If it's around here somewhere, and I'm quite certain it is, you should maybe search for it at the village treasury. Now get going. I'll see you at the temple.
Well then, let's start our glorious search, shall we? I suggest you take a look at the town hall. I'll check out the temple. Just call me if you find something. Huh? Huh? About Fogville? Yeah, quite a lot actually. This story's always fascinated me. You haven't heard of it, I take it. What do you want to know? Yeah, and that's about what happened. How can I say this without going beyond the scope? The short version, the villagers lost their minds. It all started when they officially renounced Malthus and the righteous path. Then, more and more travelers started disappearing, and surprisingly, a lot of their corpses were found close to the village, dumped in the forest like slaughtered cattle. That was when the Order couldn't ignore this issue any longer and sent a division of guards to end the madness, whatever that's supposed to look like. But when these guards arrived, they were greeted by frenzied villagers, who were armed to the teeth and jumped on the guards like rabid dogs. Most of them were killed, but one made it back to the temple. Well, and that's almost the end of the story. When the guards returned, they were almost the size of an army, but still the villagers charged right at them. You can imagine the result. Yes, it was. It turned out they sacrificed them. Later, when the Order searched Fogville for what could have caused all this, they found a hidden hexagonal room in the temple, which looked like the Fogvillers built it themselves. It was strange. There were exactly 6 paintings, one on each wall, and they all depicted unholy scenes, whatever that may mean. Anyway, it seemed that the travelers were sacrificed there. Heck knows why. As I said, they were mad, and this is also how they fought, regardless of the consequences. Plus, this place isn't exactly easily charged. Just look at all the walls. It's almost a fortress. Well, the most common one is the proximity to the Whisperwood. We all know what these spores do to the human mind. So maybe unfavorable winds over several moons? Who knows? At least that's the official explanation. Some conspiracy theorists see a connection to the Butcher of Ark. Exactly. Strange guy, to say the least. You know, shortly before he killed himself, he left an autobiography. And even though the Order officially forbids owning it, there are collectors who established an entire cult around that Tannerson character. There's a lot of speculation going on about this entire myth, and some of it's quite bizarre and morbid, if you ask me. Anyway. Keep your chin up. Yeah, I did. Why do you ask? That's a good question. I suppose in the end, it was just a hunch I had. Plus, all these civil wars in other countries didn't exactly invite one to stay. Well, I guess that depends on where you're standing. Of course, times can be tough, especially if you come to a new city, or even country where you know nobody. But if you're good at what you do, which I am, there's always work, everywhere. And yeah, I don't eat God's tongue for breakfast, but it was always enough for a roof over my head when I wanted, and some other earthly pleasures. That's what life's all about, isn't it? Now, aren't you inquisitive? Let me think. I spent most of my time abroad in Kira, and also a couple of years on the Isles of Kile. And there was this mission that led me to Maiar Aranath once. What am I, a traveling tome? I'm afraid I'm not a very good storyteller. But Kira's great. The people there are so much freer in their way of thinking. There are the great bazaars, the palaces of the merchant lords, and the fortress of the mages' circles. But you just have to see it for yourself someday. Oof. Different. As beautiful as the Isles are, there's always this feeling of rush and competition. Have you ever heard of the game penny? On Kile, it's not a crime if a merchant tries to cheat a customer. It's the customer's fault if he doesn't see the fraud. But if he does, the merchant owes him a token penny. Bizarre, isn't it? But over there, it's common practice. Yeah, it is. I was there with a group of mercenaries. We were hired to get something from a tower in the old capital. Not a nice spot of earth, truly. There's this fog everywhere, and with every step you take, you have to be careful the swamps don't get the better of you. But of course, that's also what makes it exciting. Keep your chin up. That was quick. Any luck? Let me see. Yeah, that's it. Well, then I guess that means off to the temple. You ready? What? You mean the living dead, the Watirs everywhere, the frenzied civilians? I'd say this country's seen better times. But at least something happens. It makes this place less boring. Good. Then lead the way.
Never walked back on the road from the aged man's abode.
Ugh, blazes. Sorry. I know. I can't sing. Eager to explore, aren't you? Take your time, I'll wait. I can use a break anyway. And that's it. The Crystal Forest. Beautiful, isn't it? The temple should just be a few miles up the hill. Oh, it's an old legend. Apparently this temple has some kind of consciousness, so to speak. That's also the reason for the weird vegetation around here. Yep.
Well, well, that was quicker than expected. Did you find the gem? Show me. Well, I'll be damned, that's the one. Then I suppose it's time for me to tell you some things about the temple. Maybe you've already heard the Enderalian legend about this place. It's said that this temple is alive, and that the entire forest is some kind of sensory organ of it. Heareth his whispers, sung from the trees, dreadeth his gaze, blah blah blah, you get the idea. Though most folk legends are superstitious nonsense, this one has a true core. The temple does indeed have a consciousness of some sort. That has, however, less to do with some suicidal lover's tragic fates, but with a Pyrean defense mechanism. The Stone Heart. It works because the Pyreans found a way to conjoin something immaterial with a human soul. That doesn't need to be a building like it is here. It can also be a sword or an amulet. The Bound Ones, as those whose consciousness was transferred were called, suffered atrocious pain during the ritual, but when it worked, they practically achieved immortality.
Well, that's consoling.
It's a terrible fate, yes, but we all know that with the right religious blathering, humans can be convinced to do just about anything. However, don't get the wrong idea. These bindings were unusual. Not every Pyrean had a relative living in his frying pan, so to speak. Only a very few Arcanists, mainly those of the Ishian caste, were able to perform them. In other words, bound places or objects were extremely rare. This temple is one of them. I doubt that it's resting, witnessing the downfall of one's own civilization, and since then being forced to hang around in an extinct world hardly has a positive effect on one's sanity. But we'll see. Go ahead, put the gem in the socket over there.
Damned.
Perfect. Then let's go, and keep your weapons ready. The undertrain will be the lowest level of the temple. At least, if Lushishi's theories are true.
One question, Maester Firespark. Why me?
Why what?
This is the third time that you've hired me, and my pay isn't exactly humble. Why?
What do you want to hear? A love song? You're a drunken... junction. Seems that we have to... wait a moment. There's something written here. Chuijara nem Huresa nem Gandila Bayara. Interesting.
Yes?
I'm translating. Lashery could do a better job with that. Age takes its toll, I suppose, but... I think that means something like the warrior, the wise man, and the dark one together wield the light. And look at the inscription above the doorways. Chuijara, Huresa, Gandila. The warrior, the wise man, and the dark one.
Sounds to me that there's something we need at the end of each of these tunnels to go further. To the light, whatever that is.
Brilliant deduction. That means we have to split up. Do you see the pressure plates in front of the doors? To me, it looks as if each of us has to stand on one to open the gates. I should take the path of the wise man. What about you, Joseph?
The warrior?
Good. That leaves you the path of the dark one. Off we go then. We'll meet again at the light. Come on, step on the pressure plates.
My door's open. Constantine?
Mine too. Then let's go.
There you are. Where is Bushybeard, though? Have you seen him somewhere? A scream? But... wait. Do you hear that? That's his voice. He got here before we did, but he didn't wait. Why the heck would he do that? Not really, no. Come on, let's take a look.
Shijara, Nem, Lohem, Sharaz, gradually.
What the heck? Hello? Master Firespark.
Yorila, Den Shohen. Shijara, Nem, Jogen, Vetu, 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 Vetu. Shijara, Nem, Lohem, Sharaz. She showed me. She showed me! She showed me all! The temple. She let me look through the window of time, and I saw it. All of it. The high ones, the light, the burnt flesh everywhere. Yes, because of the light. It burns us from within. I saw them, men, women and children. They were ablaze like the sun. So bright and why did you show me? Why? No one should have to see something like that. No one. Yes? And they're with us here and now, everywhere and always. And no matter what we do, we can't hide. Do you understand? We can't.
Meister, you're not yourself. Just calm down and we can...
No! Stay away from me! You don't understand. You can't understand. She's so sad. So sad and so full of wrath because we chose to close our eyes rather than see. Because we refuse to understand.
Understand what? You're not making any sense.
That it's us. We are sin. Don't you see? And there's only one way to end it.
What? No, no! Put that away! This is madness!
Madness? What we do is madness! This is the only way. The cycle. One glance was enough to understand her suffering. To understand that there's no other solution than ultimate death. One day, you will understand that. You too, fleshless one. And now, we have to die. It won't change much, but maybe it will make her just a little happier. Forgive me. But why?
That was... what the heck? Why by the wise hermit would he do that? His eyes. I've never seen anything like that. You mean he was possessed? I don't know. I always thought the possessed have a red shimmer in their eyes when it gets bad. He didn't. And what was that talk about making her happy? Did he mean the temple? My. This doesn't get better. We'll need to tell the Order about it. Now, let's push on. At least we should find this train. We owe Firespark that much. Yeah, you're right. Come on, let's find a shovel. Or something like that. What now? Such chaos. Nature takes back what belongs to her. Let's hope the tunnels of this undertrain aren't flooded too. Wait, I know that smell. Stay here. Where did we find Yarrow's wife? Yarrow's companion. Where did we find her coffin? Please, just do me a favor and answer. Just do it. Then it really is you. Good question. Best you take a look for yourself. I'll wait here. So, any explanations? An illusion. Yes, of course. Created by this bloody temple. Or maybe even the High Ones. Yes, of course. That must be it. They're trying to confuse us. By the wise hermit, they'll do just about anything, won't they? This is just wrong. This is crazy. Ugh. Well, working with you is definitely an experience, to say the least. We should push on, find that stupid train. I just want to get out of this place as quickly as possible. Bullseye. Seems like the water spared the train. It's beautiful in a way, don't you think? I bet every Arcanist would give his left hand just to get a look at it. But we're about to use it. Only thing left to do now is find out how. Seems to me that we first have to open this gate and reactivate the mechanism that powers this place. I'll take a look around. Try and find something that lets us open the gate. Wonderful. That's good. Go on inside and take a seat, okay? I'll see if I can get the train running somehow. It can't be too hard. Ha! Ta-da! Yes, I'm amazing. I know that. If being a merc doesn't work out in the long run, maybe I'll ask the Order to hire me as an expert on Pyrean railways. But no guarantee this thing won't drive us right into the next abyss. Anyway, I guess even with this thing, it should be a while till we arrive. Let's make ourselves comfortable. Sorry for the drama back there at the house. I guess I just didn't know what to make of the situation. No idea. And please, save the subtle accusations, okay? If I reacted somewhat inappropriately, I'm sorry. But hey, I'm not the one whose corpse is lying around in some old ruin. Sorry about that. I'm a little on edge right now, no offense intended. If the High Ones were planning to confuse us, they definitely succeeded. We really should tell the Grand Master about this, and about what happened to Constantine. Still, we can't allow this to get inside our heads too much. What matters right now is the mission. And at least it stays exciting. 2 daring adventurers who have gotten themselves into something they don't even remotely understand are plundering ancient ruins in search of treasure. Don't laugh, but this reminds me a little of my past, of my childhood. Not the part including mysterious corpses and crazed mages, of course. My sister and I, when we were young, we always used to go exploring the caves near our manor. Father always gave us a good scolding when he got wind of it, but of course that didn't keep us from doing it again. Right, because I never told you. Adela and I are not exactly close these days anyway, probably because we lost our bond somehow, after our father died. Yes, he did. Together with my siblings. Actually, Adela and I are the only surviving Delverics. All the others were murdered. No need to be. But I appreciate the thought, so thanks. In a sad way, a part of me is actually glad everything happened the way it did back then. It made me into a man, and it showed me what kind of characteristics have a tendency to drastically shorten one's life. Stubbornness. My father was a judge in the tribunal, you know. He was a hard man, who at least, after our mother died while giving birth to Adela, lived for only one thing. His principles. Justice knows no compromise. That was his great creed. No matter who stood before him in court, my father treated them all the same. Damien Delveric, the epitome of justice. It does to most people. One day, the son of a highly regarded Archer Sublime stood before the 12 judges of the court. Valenzio Duran. He had murdered 2 whores, made them happy, as he called it, and it was obvious that he didn't feel so much as a hint of remorse. You know those kind of people. The ones who think that money and power entitle them to anything they want. Of course you can. 11 of the 12 judges voted for a verdict of not guilty, because they knew Valenzio's father was influential within the Relata. Only my father, of course, remained unshaken. 1 week later, our manor was robbed by 4 masked men who killed everyone. Servants, guards, my 2 older brothers, all of them. Officially, they were bandits, who just happened to be running around with blades made of shadow steel. My sister and I only survived because we had snuck out for one of our expeditions. Ironic, isn't it? Horrible? None of this is horrible. It was the only logical consequence of my father's actions. And what good did it do in the end? None. As we speak, Valenzio's enjoying himself in some brothel, with 2 whores and a bowl of grapes. But you see, there's no point in being angry about this. And do you know why? Because this is just how the world works. There's no divine justice, no system through which it's decided who lives and who dies. There are decisions and there are consequences. That's it. This is also why there's absolutely no point in fighting for ideals, the greater good, or whatever else you want to call it. First of all, because no one will thank you for it, and second, because people are stupid. That's the one universal rule that there is to this world. No matter how much you try to accomplish something, in the end, stupid people will destroy all you've achieved with no more than a snap of their fingers. Fight for the moment, and the moment only. Because unlike everything else, you can be certain of its truth. Bullshit. If he had wanted Valenzio to die so badly, there would have been other ways. Poison, an accident, a hired killer. Just a hint of common sense. That's all he would have needed. But of course, none of that would have conformed to his sacred principles. Adela and I were still young when all this happened. A friendly family took us in, and my sister joined the Order of the Apothecary in the Frostcliff Mountains. But since then, we haven't been able to speak to one another. She raised a wall of ice around herself, so to speak, and fled into old family books and memories. But, anyway, enough about me. You're an orphan too, aren't you? How come? You never told me about that. As you wish. Then maybe now would be a good time to get some rest. We have a long ride ahead of us. Good night. Rise and shine, my friend. We have arrived. How'd you sleep? I fell asleep too, but it must have been 7 or 8 hours at least. Very interesting machine, this Undertrain. Come on, let's take a look outside. Seems someone has prepared a welcome for us. What? Haven't had enough yet? As you wish. Enemies, watch out. Ah! Well, I'll be damned. This is Half Moon Isle. I can't believe it. And I guess that camp over there belongs to Terranor Korek. I suggest we split up. That way we'll still have a chance if they catch one of us. Here, this is your plate. I'll try going in from the east. You should go in from the west. And don't get caught, or try to play the hero, alright? Considering that we're up against an entire army, that's a bad idea, even for someone with your abilities. Anywhere inside the camp. But of course an officer's tent, or maybe even Korek's, would be ideal. We'll meet again here by sunrise.
long enough. You know, that would mean the deaths of thousands of innocents. No idolizer is ever innocent. Religions are ideologies, and an ideology is a decision. Subjects don't rebel against their tyrants or priests because the tyrants themselves. Yeah, let's see.
Look at that. The urchin child who just won't stop struggling. Indeed. What do we want? You amuse us, you know. How you refuse to give up. How you keep on fighting, even though deep down you know your struggle is futile. But still, you have come a long way. You have ignited the sigil stone, and you have found the beacon. And this, urchin child, this amuses us. Because nothing is more entertaining than a harvest which fights back. It makes things so much more exciting. So here's our offer, Prophet. Ask us whatever is on your mind, and we swear to answer truthfully. Or you can leave. It's up to you. That's up to you to decide. Come on, urchin. Ask or leave. In the end, you and your people will burn anyway. But sometimes, even the hope for deliverance alone has its merits. It's just what you think it is. A weapon that allows you to bring an end to all this. Fear, hate, joy. You assume we are thinking in human terms, Prophet. Yet, a true deity is more than a simple human able to throw fireballs.
as your late Lightborn were. A true god is a state of being, and its existence alone forms reality according to its will. There were so many before you, and so many have found the weapon, yet still we exist, and the cleansing is imminent. What does this tell you? Lofty words. Hold on to the thought if it gives you strength. They want to destroy the beacon. Amusing, isn't it? They are doing our work for us. Yes, but they are naive. They believe that the cleansing is a good thing, and that we, the High Ones, have come to raise humanity to a higher stage. Evolution. That is what they call it. Just as the lizard became a dragon, and the bird became a man, their leader, Taranar Korek, thinks he is one of the emissaries, just like you. Are you so blind? We are the envoys of determination, the constant of being, before which time itself bows down. The dream of one long dead, which is about to become reality, and that will lead you to your doom. We know what you want to hear now. That you are special, that you have always been. But this is not true. You have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. And the truth is, you make our task easier. You are weak. Very well. Now Shu, continue your vain search, and forgive us for the pain.
Now!
My lord, he is awake.
Splendid. May I introduce you? To your left there's Samael, my bodyguard, master of Ostian's arena for decades. And to your right, there's Blade Master Almus Ordan, the most gifted sword fighter of Nerim's north and commander of my troops. Furthermore, there's an entire garrison of elite soldiers outside. So, can I trust you to not do anything stupid? I want to talk to you, face to face, as civilized people do. No, not really. By the way, we have captured your friend as well. He's in a tent up in the camp, and we will compare your stories, so you'd better stick to the truth. Samael, take off the blindfold. Well then, I am Taranor of Korek's blood, former ruler of Kabiet, and now representative of the free peoples of Nerim, which you undoubtedly already knew. Who are you? That is who we are, yes. The civil war is over, and Nerim is once again united, free of tyranny and false gods. We don't follow a monarch anymore, and we do not pray to any idols, unlike people in this country. But we digress. Who are you? I see. And who sent you? And why? Actually, no, I won't. Contrary to what you might believe, I am no butcher, and I don't kill for the fun of it. And even though I cannot guarantee you will survive this night, I promise that cooperation will increase your chances drastically. So, who sent you? Just as I suspected. And how exactly...
My lord, I think you should see this.
Of course. We have taken the liberty of stripping you of your belongings. If you'll excuse me for a moment, please. A silver plate. I see. They were sent to spy on us.
Then let's kill them.
No. He was honest, and I am a man of my word. And actually... Actually, you have done us a favor. We can use the plates to present Aranthiel with our offer, without putting ourselves in danger.
What? How? What are these plates?
Old artifacts of the Pyreans. Their magic works like a sort of ear conch. Sounds are transferred from one plate to the other. And I strongly suspect that at this very moment, Taelor Aranthiel and Narathzul's traitorous heirs are gathered around the counterpart, waiting for someone to activate this plate, aren't they? Samael, do you know how to use these plates? Excellent. Then activate it. I will talk to old Aranthiel. Let's hope that he will listen for once in his life. Otherwise, this will end in disaster. Taelor Aranthiel. I know that you are there and that you can hear me, so why don't we just stop playing games? As you wish, Grand Master. You can keep quiet, but you should be aware of who's going to pay for your arrogance.
Haven't you had enough war by now? After 2 decades?
2 decades of war that were necessary because your god suppressed the people. Or would you deny even this?
Is that why you wanted to talk to me, Quarek? To throw around accusations?
No, that's not what I wanted. We are talking because I want to give you a chance. We know that you are fighting the High Ones, and that you're trying to reconstruct the beacon in order to stop them.
Which makes perfect sense, since the cleansing means the end of all life. Don't you agree?
No, I don't. And if you even remotely understood who the High Ones actually are, and what they represent, you wouldn't either. They are evolution, the ascendance of humanity to a higher level.
What?
Let's just face the facts for a moment. There's no evidence that the cleansing, whatever shape it will take, will be violent. Yes, the Pyreans are gone, but how do we know they've not just simply gone to another place? That they've transformed? The High Ones are not our enemies, Aranthiel. They are the next step of evolution, the envoys of our purpose, that we might become more than the simple-minded creatures we've been during the past millennia. This is what the cleansing actually is. Don't you understand? It's the moment when humanity is relieved of its vices, united, reaching a higher level of existence.
That's absurd.
To you, it might sound that way, but I have seen it with my own eyes. Ever since the gods departed, the High Ones have sent me dreams in which I can see the future, and it's glorious. It's not our destiny to stay human, Aranthiel. With their help, we will be gods, true gods, not the idols you have worshipped. It's the truth, whether you accept it or not.
By the... People are dying, Quarek. There's war all over Veen. The dead are rising from their graves, and people are killing each other for no apparent reason. Whatever you have dreamed, does this look like some kind of ascension to you?
I know about the Red Madness, but has it ever occurred to you that it follows a pattern as well? That it only befalls certain people?
Whom?
People whose thinking is in shackles. People whose minds are not free, and who are superstitious and ignorant. such as the people in your country, to whom you have denied the truth about their gods.
What? Are you saying that the Red Madness only affects religious people? People who still believe in the Lightborn?
Yes. Religiosity is a pattern of thought that favors irrationality over reason. Someone who thinks in these patterns is simply not ready for the advancement, and the Red Madness is simply a way to sieve them out. A natural selection, if you will. That's also why you are not affected by it, Heranthiel, because you know that what you and your order fought so hard to keep up over the years were lies.
This is nonsense. There have been cases of Red Madness in the Order too, and we have seen what the cleansing will bring us in the dreams and in their chronicles, and it has nothing to do with some kind of ascension. Just listen to yourself, Korek. You talk like a mad prophet. Is that what you want to be?
You react just as I expected. Very well then. Will you at least hear our offer?
Speak.
The cleansing has to happen, and we, the free peoples of Nerim, will make sure that it does. We will not allow your backward thinking to keep humanity from advancing, as it has done for centuries. Therefore, if you don't want a war, you will stop rebuilding the beacon, and you will tell your people the truth about their gods, so that then they, too, can ascend when the time has come. You've said it yourself, Heranthiel. This world has had enough war. Spare it yet another one.
I would if I could, but if these are your demands, then no.
Then we will have to force you. This means bloodshed, Heranthiel, and innocents will die, and all because...
This conversation is over.
Bloody fool. Alma, prepare the attack. He asked for it.
Yes, my lord. What will happen to the prisoners?
The spies. Right. We're at war now, and this means you're my enemies. But as I said, I am a man of my word, and so I'll leave your fate to chance. Samael, put him to sleep, and then put him and his friend on a raft. If they survive, so be it. If not, fair enough.
Well, well, look who's here. How are you doing, silly? Still on the search? Is that so? Honestly, I find that a little hard to believe. But I guess you know what you're doing, don't you? You always did. Come on, let's go inside. I prepared a little surprise. Or should I say a big one? I suppose that depends on how you look at it. Ta-da-da-da! Look who I dug out. It's Mother and little sister. Aren't they beautiful?
Aren't we beautiful? Aren't we beautiful?
But I suppose what we dead people do doesn't concern you now, does it, my child? Because you are important now. Ha! Can you believe it? He's important now. He is chosen.
Chosen. Chosen.
But you know, I think you've forgotten something amidst all this ballyhoo of prophecies, cleansings, and beacons. that you are weak. You are pathetic. You are worthless. And you are weak. That's what you were back then. That's what you are now. And that's what you'll always be. Saving lives? You? Ridiculous! But then again, maybe we do you wrong. So why don't you just tell us? Why you? Why should you, of all people, be the solution to the problem? Why should you be able to prevent something that has happened to mankind for thousands of years? You! That's right. You don't know. Because you are a stupid, dirty brat. A murdering, stupid brat and nothing else. See? You did it again. You made me unhappy. You made me curse. And cursing is a sin. Don't you understand? I'm only trying to help you to see. This is not you, don't you understand? You are not yourself. And deep down inside, you know it as much as I do.
You know it. You know it.
So, tell me, silly, why is it so hard for you to just let go? Your place is here, in the realm of the dead. So just let yourself fall. It only hurts in the beginning, you know. Then it's like falling asleep. Please, my child, we miss you so much. Little sister wants to play with you again.
Play with you. Play with
And
you.
two of us. We could go hunting again, like back in the old days. Find ourselves a nice deer, and then have a good, juicy piece of meat for dinner. Do you even listen to me? Hey, you're not supposed to leave yet. You're already here. So why don't you just stay? Please, child, stay with us. 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 Stay with us.
Stay with me. Hey, can you hear me? Wake up. Bad dreams? A lot. We got damn lucky. That raft Korek put us on was about as seaworthy as a paper ship. But thank the sun, that fisherwoman over there took us in. She's headed for Duneville, and we should arrive soon. Couple of hours. That spell Korek's mute buddy put on you must have been quite a doozy. They felt the blow to the back of the head would suffice for me. Guess I was the lucky one. Yeah. That guy should really go easier on the bottle, if you ask me. But it seems that the thousands who follow him see things differently. As if the High Ones alone weren't threat enough. Now they have a self-proclaimed messiah to back them up. That's just peachy. Well, as I heard it, he thinks the cleansing is evolution. We become higher beings. We ascend to a new level of existence, so to speak. And he thinks the reason for the red madness in Enderal is that people still haven't learned the truth about the death of the Lightborn. They're still superstitious, so the sickness weeds them out. Natural selection. And yeah, it sounds absurd. I guess people always see what they want to see. I'm afraid so. According to the fisherwoman, the first of Korek's battleships have already arrived near Duneville. It'll take them a while to get the rest of their fleet over here from Naryn, but still. Enderal isn't ready for this. Not at all. Most guards haven't tried their weapons on anything other than training dummies, or at the most, bandits. In other words, we're screwed. Well, I guess first of all, we should be grateful we made it out alive. I bet that if Korek would have known your role in all this, we'd be as dead as doornails by now. Once we arrive in Duneville, we should get back to Ark as soon as possible. I'm sure Arenthiel and the others have already written us off as dead. I suggest you ask the fisherwoman how much farther it is to the village. Well, I suppose first of all I'll go get my pay. Regardless of what transpired, we fulfilled our mission. After that, I don't know. War is an entirely different story, and ending up beaten to a pulp with a damned warhammer certainly isn't on my priority list. My loyalties are with my employer, who now happens to be dead. If I stay, someone will have to make it worth my while. Period. On the other hand, if we don't manage to stop the cleansing from happening, it won't make a difference if I'm here or on Calais. Oh, my, what did I get myself into? I feel like a bloody marionette in a goddamn play. It is. Even though the Calais beach would probably be better for my health than joining your cause. Enemy invasions, mysterious corpses. You seem to attract trouble wherever you go, as we've seen more than once now. You know, there's one thing I just couldn't get out of my head since all this started. Does mankind deserve to be saved? I mean, have we as a species really made this world a better place? What have we accomplished apart from bloodbaths and wars in the name of the true gods or the right way to see things? And even now that we have a common enemy, we fail spectacularly to pull together. That's pathetic somehow, isn't it? Just pathetic. Heck, I sound like the biggest cynic alive. Let's stop here before it gets any worse. Go talk to the fisherwoman. You're really curious, aren't you? But yes, there is something that troubles me apart from the obvious. It's my sister. Well, I told you that we haven't talked much since, since the thing with our family happened. A couple of moons before we met, I wanted to change that, and I went to see her at the League of the Apothecary in the Frostcliff Mountains. But she was gone, just like that, and no one knew where she went. It's been troubling me for quite some time now. It's probably nothing, but still, I'm worried.
Our best. I didn't think I'd ever say this, but right now I'd give a lot for the Art Guard to be here instead of these Duneville watchdogs. At least they know how to wage a war.
Where'd she come from?
In any case, you should get back to the
Say she
Sun
traversed the
as soon as
Eridan Canal
possible.
without losing as much as one man.
Bastards whose country this is.
That woman's got guts.
We will.
You have to give her that.
Thanks for your help.
Aye, she does. But that's about it. I talked to one of her men.
Keep your chin up.
See you there.
Ahoy. Sorry, these shifts drag on forever.
Saira, good to see you. I heard about what happened on Half Moon Island. It's a wonder you and that mercenary made it back alive. But war, it just seems so unreal. How has it come to this? Now we not only have to fight these High Ones, but also some fanatic who thinks he knows best? If they are, then maybe we were foolish to think that the Red Madness is the only weapon at their disposal. Tell me, Saira, how is it possible that our beliefs about what's best for mankind are so different? Why are we so eager to be at each other's throats? Suffering leads to more suffering. Yes, that makes sense. You know what I find so hard to understand? Why there are so few people who actually care. So few people who feel the need to change something like you and I do. There are moments I just feel so powerless. As if we all know that if we keep going like this, we're headed for a catastrophe. But instead of changing course, we just stand by and watch. Do you know the feeling? Yes, I mean, is it so hard to see that this world could be such a better place if we'd only care a tiny bit more about something other than what's happening in front of our doorsteps? You understand what I'm trying to say, don't you? You know that feeling too. I thought so. Whenever I think about it, I find it so hard not to get angry. Take all those upper city snobs with their colorful garments and exotic perfumes. They could put all that money to such good use if only they wanted to, but no, they don't. Because they just don't give a damn about the poor. Sometimes I imagine going down there, grabbing one of them by the collar and dragging them down into the Undercity. And there I'd force them to see, just for once. But even that probably wouldn't help. I guess we only care about the things that directly affect us. Who fights against poverty if he's never suffered from it? And once again, you've had to listen to another deluge of my whining. I guess I'm just not a person for pleasantries. Sorry. Yes, that, might be the case. Saira, I have to ask you something. You said these things to me. Why? Compliments. Comments that you... I don't know how to put it. No, but I just don't think that's a good idea. I'm not made for things like that. I've never felt the need for them, and honestly, I think it's dangerous. At least for me. No, never. Because you know a lot about me, Saira, and I appreciate our contact, which is the only reason I just told you all of this. So please, respect my wishes. Let's leave it at that for now. We've still got a lot to do. The first of Quarak's ships will reach shore soon, and we have to be prepared.
Wherever we look, where is this supposed to lead?
Yes.
Greetings.
What's blessed?
This just doesn't make sense.
Move along.
But that's ridiculous. We have to at least try to negotiate.
You know his demands. There's no basis for negotiation.
He has not seen what we have seen. The writings, the memories of the Prophet. If he just realized...
Taranor Korek would rather throw away his comb that had been a mistake. Believe me, I know him.
I am sure the Grand Master has a solution ready. After all, he was the one who dismissed Korek's attempts to negotiate so swiftly.
My dams, my sirs.
Shit. What took you so long? And where is Constantine?
That's a long story.
And those were his final words? I can't believe it.
Simply another victim of the High Ones. If we do not activate the beacon soon, he won't be the last.
Oh, right. The beacon. If it's activated, we'll simply glow the red madness away, won't we? Or maybe we could, for once in all this, do something that actually makes sense, and focus our resources on finding an alchemistical or thaumaturgical solution to this problem, rather than trusting in a pile of scrap metal.
Oh, by the prophet's ass, won't you just shut up for a minute? All day long you do nothing but babble, getting on our nerves, and nothing you ever say gets any closer to a fucking solution. So why don't you just shove off to one of the bathhouses? Go torture the washerwomen with your never-ending lamentations. That would be helpful for a change.
You will take that back.
Will I? Come here and make me. I'd be delighted.
Blasphemy!
Guard your
This
tongue,
is blasphemy!
wild maid, or...
Or what? Are you gonna kill me? That's what you do best, you and your fucking order.
Silence! You are angry, Lishari Pegast, and I understand why. But in the moment you let that anger destroy this alliance, Firespark's sacrifice will have been in vain. Is that what you want? Is that what you want?
No. No, it isn't.
Good. I am tired of this endless bickering. We have a responsibility, and we will fulfill it.
Well said, Aranthiel. And how exactly do you think we are going to do that? Without the sources, the beacon is as worthless as a heap of rusty iron.
The chroniclers are on it, and they will find the answer. Novice, tell Commander Aaron to join us. We need to plan the defense of the land. You, Prophet, will come to me as soon as you have recovered. Now, let us get to work.
Please, Tilor, Jorik is right. A war with Nerim? This is madness.
I know that it is going to be tough. We have no choice. The beacon...
The sun be praised you've made it.
Yes, the beacon.
Constantine.
The beacon.
He didn't deserve this. It's just not fair.
If it will work. If you start a war only because of that damn machine, it means putting the lives of thousands at risk. Only because of some...
Someone is gonna pay for it.
idea.
I'll see to that.
It's entirely...
I have to talk to you as soon as possible. It's about the seal in that letter we found on the mercenaries in Old Rashengrad. I believe I'm onto something. Their client is from Enderal. From Ark, to be more precise. Let's not talk here, though. Meet me in the Dancing Nomad. I'll be in the first room upstairs, right at the end of the staircase. And hurry.
Sacrifices. This is about your damn
Yes,
pride.
see you there.
Nothing else.
Walk blessed.
Irrelevant. This madman, Koarek. He has completely reshuffled the cards. Now we not only have to deal with the High Ones, but also with him and his fanatics. However, there's also good news. You have probably seen it already. Physically, yes. And we also know how it works now, and how it can put an end to the cycle. It is easier than we thought. The beacon was constructed for one thing, to destroy the High Ones. Once reconstructed, infused with energy and activated, lit, as the Pyreans called it, it can banish the High Ones from this plane of existence. It is complicated if you try to understand how it works. You know that the High Ones are not made of flesh and blood as we are. Essentially, they can be compared to the cold or to shadows. Omnipresent elements, yet we cannot touch them. Energy, if you will. However, there is a counterpart to each energy. Cold and fire, shadow and light. The High Ones and the beacon. Yes. Imagine a torch driving away the darkness in the moment it is ignited. This is what the beacon can do, except that the banishing will be permanent. Yes, as I said, it needs to be infused with energy before it can be lit. I take it you have noticed the 3 sockets on its base. They are what it draws its power from. Once they are filled, the beacon can be ignited and the High Ones will be undone, once and for all. At least, if the old writings are true. The only thing left for us to find out is what these energy sources are. But we are close. Give the Arcanists some more time and I will let you know if there's any news. In the meantime, get equipped accordingly. Some of the Nerimes have landed already, and outbreaks of the Red Madness become more and more frequent as we speak. No, there are not enough, and we must keep the few there are in our possession, in case anything unexpected should happen. The only thing we can do to stop the madness is to destroy the High Ones as soon as possible. Well, it's only fair to tell you. You've always been honest to me, so I will do the same. Have you ever heard of the Night of the Thousand Fires? Between 8,192 and 8,202, there was an underground movement in Kira called the Red Half Moon. They were brought into being by a group of intellectuals and philosophers who, under all the freedom of thought Saldrine granted them, started questioning the reign of the Golden Queen, and thus the Lightborn themselves. Saldrine saw himself as the god of knowledge, and accordingly he reigned his country. In Kira, no opinion is forbidden, which is why it is home to countless magic schools and universities, where people do nothing but discuss the reason for being all day long. An appealing thought if you hear it for the first time, but a cunning people isn't easy to rein. There have been more revolts and riots in Kira than bones in a graveyard, and the Red Half Moon was the worst of them. Correct, just as my son did. But other than him, they fought like cowards. Terror, dust crystals planted in the marketplaces, and assassinations, you name it. If they killed innocents, they blamed the Golden Queen. And if they killed her soldiers, they celebrated themselves as liberators. However, they never succeeded in putting her down, and neither did she in destroying them, which is why the court turned to the Lightborn for help. A division of the Holy Order led by me, a young keeper of barely 30 winters. None to be taken seriously. You know, not everywhere is the Order as present as here on Enderal, or as it once was on Narim. In Kira, we were ridiculed. I saw the Kiranian keepers who served the Golden Queen. A bunch of decadent gluttons who had dedicated themselves to the court's banquets rather than to the will of the gods. They were pathetic. A moon after our arrival, we received an anonymous tip on where one of the half-moon spaces was supposed to be located, in a small coastal village. As we entered it, we were greeted by the township's elders, and the villagers themselves had gathered behind them. You should have seen how they stared at us, as if we were plunderers. I should have seen by then that something was wrong. Yes, but if there was one thing the Red Half-Moon was good at, it was sowing lies. According to them, we were nothing but butchers who executed everyone unable to recite the revelation word for word. That's what they wanted us to think, and they did a good job at that. A veiled person here, an archer on the rooftops there. I got nervous, because villagers or not, they bested us in numbers, and they had kettled us. Then a man seemed to charge at us, and I gave the order to draw weapons. It was just the spark they needed. No, not a fight. A massacre. The villagers had pitchforks and shepherd staffs, and we had shadow steel swords, let alone the fact that we were trained warriors. I realized that I had made a mistake a split second after it started, but it was too late by then. My men, they slaughtered them all, like pigs. At the end of the day, 300 people were dead, and only 10 of them were keepers. Have you ever been in a big battle? Even if my men would have stopped, the villagers were blinded with rage and panic. No. From the moment I gave the order, it was too late. Well, what better proof of the Lightborn's cruelty is there than a division of keepers who, out of pure wickedness, slaughtered an entire village, women, children included. If the people had already distrusted us before that, that distrust had turned into hatred, then nothing could have changed that, not even the Golden Queen's heralds. We set sail back to Enderal a week later. 2 years after that, the Red Half-Moon destroyed itself due to infighting. Ironic, isn't it? I should have, yes. The Lightborn and the Grandmaster back at that time showed the compassion I wouldn't grant myself. But I learned one thing, and that is that I will never again let fears about my own life influence my decisions. What happened in Kira was the consequence of my own cowardice, and my unwillingness to give my life for a just cause. That will never happen again. Yes. Why do you ask? They did. What are you getting at? Then do me a favor and spare me the pleasantries. We have no time for small talk. Yes.
fabled prodigy.
I hope you can live up to what they say.
Always complaining.
Yeah.
I hope the new turnips come soon.
Work, work, work. Work isn't easy.
Evening.
Move along.
Prophet, are you in there?
Kirash, what? Why? What have you done? Watch your tongue, Shari. Be glad that the blood is already dry, or else you'd be nothing but a pile of bones by now.
Forgive me. I just can't believe it. Anyone but Lashari? Yes, I know, Nea. But she was a good woman. We both know that we're not involved in this. So please tell me why you and Lashari wanted to meet up here? Were the two of you close? It's been a while since there was a man at Lashari's side. So why? What? Then this bastard got wind of it. Oh, Kirash, Lashari, why the secrecy? Maybe the murderer has left a clue. We have to search. What's this? Let me see. Yes! This could be our clue. No, certainly not. But come to think about it, it doesn't really help us either. There are so many dust addicts in Ark, it would take years just to count them. Oh, by the name of the sun, I will inform the Order. Yes, you do that. But come back to the temple as soon as you're finished, alright? The Archmagister has found something out about those sources we need for the beacon, even though he paid a high price for it.
Hey, Stu! Roast pork. Anyone?
Some people just don't like it.
Tui, put that back!
I really need that new herbal essence for my hair.
how he is, always...
Hey, what are you doing? Put that back!
Oh, yes. Of course you'd say that.
Men, that's just how they are.
Oh.
Well, there comes a point when you just have to live with it.
Huh? Can I help you?
The fabled prodigy.
What?
Oh, you're here? I thought you were in the city.
Oh, hey.
No, the Archmagister ordered me back. Feels good to be here, to be honest. But the funeral...
What?
I could have done without them, though.
Ah, if it isn't the Prophet. What's wrong? You look troubled.
That really happened. Brother Yarrow, he was such a good man.
I know. Shah Rim has already told me. I hardly knew her, but it's horrible. Different ideologies or not, she was a fine young mage, and her knowledge of the Pyreans was impressive. We need to find the ones who did this, and fast. But you probably already know that. Thank Momentous we just had a breakthrough with the beacon.
What happened before that? And how?
At least as far as the sockets go, yes. In the old tablets you found in old Dothugrad, there's talk of black embers, which are supposed to be some kind of energy supply for the machine.
Long before it happened.
You don't say.
This is what we've been asking ourselves over the past few weeks, and then it fell like pelt from our eyes. The Pyreans were talking about the Black Pearls. Old jewels, sometimes known as blackstones. They appeared for the first time in the Golden Era, and every self-important noble literally fought to get one in his possession. Apparently they originated from Stormwind, the old city in the heart of Octwind. They changed owners for decades, sometimes by violence, sometimes by gold. The whole thing only stopped when the owners took note of an undesirable side effect, if you like.
And the apothecary. Find that out. I have to go now, brother. Walk blessed.
No, at least not with any known magic. And that's what's so strange about it. Nevertheless, all of their owners eventually shared the same fate. Countess Katua from Nerim, for example, whose castle burnt down to its foundations. According to a survivor of this tragedy, she was to blame for that. He claimed that he saw her the night it happened, laughing hysterically and dancing in the dining room and summoning waves of fire all around her. She was not previously known to have any magical talent in her. Correct. Plus, all of them eventually showed similar symptoms of delusion, like those possessed by the Red Madness do. A peculiar coincidence, if you ask me. Not quite.
Those who owned a pearl tried to get rid of it, or lock it up somewhere safe, and eventually they fell into oblivion. Tell him your theory, Archmagister.
Yes, of course. We believe that the stones carry energy, pure, uncontrolled magic, and that the High Ones use them for their own purposes. Correct. The pearls' magic make their owners powerful, but the High Ones befoul them, so to speak. Like a poisoned potion. I know it sounds odd, but the parallels are too striking to ignore. The red shimmer in the victim's eyes, the slow descent into madness, and ultimately this irrational, destructive act of violence. That's what we thought too, but it seems we were wrong. Maybe the High Ones never leave our planes at all, even after the cleansing. Maybe they are even part of this world, just like the tides or the elements. And the death of the gods is only what really sets them rolling, so to speak. That's a question I've been asking myself since we first learned of the cycle. Who knows? Maybe they like for us to suffer. Or maybe they see us as we see ants, whose lives simply mean nothing. Or maybe the very concept of intentions is meaningless to them. That's what we think, yes. Nothing else in this world possesses that much raw power.
Which is why you will find them for us. No, because we know what we are dealing with, unlike those who fell victim to the stones. Imagine them as a powerful, magical sword. A fool won't know how to wield it and will eventually cut himself with it. A seasoned warrior, however, can use its power for his purposes. Which doesn't mean, however, that we will be careless with them. What we need is their energy, and once we have transferred that to the beacon, their shells will be useless to the High Ones. Correct. That's right. But we don't need all of them. The beacon has 3 sockets, and that is how many of the stones we will acquire. Archmagister.
I studied the history of the pearls as a young arcanist, and I think that my notes might give you some hints as to where you should start looking. Give me until tomorrow. By then I will have prepared the relevant excerpts. Just come to me whenever you have questions.
And hurry. I take it you have already noticed this, but Nerimi's troops are roaming our land and building outposts, and the Red Madness is also getting worse as we speak. Now go, Prophet. The sooner we find these stones, the better.
Pathlessness, wherever you look.
This just
Where
doesn't make
is
any
this
sense.
supposed to lead?
Why can't it ever be easy? What?
And just how exactly is that supposed to help me?
No idea, but I did what you asked of me. Now where's my pay?
Here. Thank you for your services.
My pleasure.
Do I know you? Ah. Well, I'm Esme. Esme Yal. Can I help you with something? Him? Oh, just another disappointment, I guess. Nothing you need to worry about. The brave miser helps the damsel in distress. How noble of you. Why? Nothing, but, well, you just don't see a lot of helpfulness these days. Especially when there's nothing to be gained in return. Especially to a tramp. Never mind. I don't want to be the self-pitying Eterna. This country is way better than Nehrim or Erizil. Huh. How's this? Before we go any further, you have a seat, and we play a couple of rounds of the Battle for Trayamar. I'll think over your offer in the meantime, and we'll let you know of my decision afterwards. What do you think? Well then, innkeep, 2 mugs of ale. Please.
What blessing, myself?
Are you dealing? Not bad. Come on, another round. We're not done yet. Draw. Well, this is unusual. Ah, that was fun. Can't remember the last time I've played. So, regarding your offer, does it still stand? I've thought on it, and I'd actually be glad for all the help I can get. Well, I'm looking for someone. But let's talk at my camp, shall we? Elrond needs fodder, and he's been alone out there for way too long now. My Leorin. Yeah, something like that. Come, follow me. Oh, bloody cold. I'm never gonna get used to this. Here we are. And yeah, this is where I live. Why don't you start a fire while I take care of Elrond? Thank you. So, I'll try to make this short. I'm here on Enderal because I'm looking for someone who left my life a while ago. How do they put it in these parts? My companion. Former companion, that is. Terra. About a moon's turn now. I came with a trade ship from Kylé. Nehrim. Oh my. I understand why you fled then. The people over there aren't too fond of our kind, are they? But yeah, now that you mentioned it, you do have a slight accent. A letter I received a while ago. Back then I was still with my clan, near Unil Yar. It came by Myrid courier, which was more than unusual. Just like myself, Tara was a minstrel. And, as you might know, money is always sparse among our kind. Ah, so you didn't grow up among the Eterna, did you? Pity. Clans are minstrel groups, bards, acrobats, magicians, you name it. You guess right. She said that she was planning to do something. Something extremely stupid. Alright. I think I need to go back a little. You know, Tara has always been somewhat complicated. Introverted, wary of others. If you didn't know her, you'd have been inclined to think that she was arrogant. Yeah, I did. Probably because I saw right away that her demeanor was a form of self-protection more than anything. Buried under that shell of ice was an extremely kind, vulnerable, and caring person. Anyway, what I'm getting at is that Tara has always had difficulty being happy. She had been through a lot, and it had broken her in some way. Every now and then, this black fog would come over her. Sometimes it was bearable. Sometimes it was so bad that she refused to leave her tent all day long. Doesn't matter. One of the reasons, yeah. But there was something else that happened about 2 years ago. We had just finished a performance at a festival, and I had lost Tara in the crowd. When I found her again, she had this look on her face, as though the Seven Lightborn had just revealed themselves to her. She was hypnotized. Well, in that crowd she had met a woman. She had worn a mask, like the other guests at the ball, and according to Tara, she had approached her right after our performance. How should I put it? She had told her that she had a solution for Tara's problem. For the black fog. According to Tara, she wore a white robe and a veil. Or was it gray? I'm not sure, it's been so long. Yeah. I quickly forgot about the whole thing, and I thought Tara had too. But the letter proved me wrong. Her encounter with that woman, it had never let go of her. Never. Yeah. And some of the things she said in that letter, they scared me. Because they sounded so final. I don't know. It's probably madness that I'm even here. I mean, she's a grown woman, and we're not even companions anymore. But still, when I read those lines, everything inside me froze. As though I was watching her walk towards an abyss, and wasn't able to stop her. Take a look? I don't know where I put it. I'm sorry. Maybe later. What? When? How? By the name of the sun. I'm so sorry. Well, who is she then? Do you have any idea? Something bigger, huh? I'm guessing you're talking about this red madness, aren't you? Either way, I suppose the big questions will have to wait. First, we need to find Tara. That's complicated. I'd rather not talk about it. Just one. And according to that mercenary I talked to in the tavern, it's leading nowhere. Even though I can't help but feel as though he was sloppy. Alright. My only clue so far is the name of the ship on which Tara set over from Kyle. The Morning Dew. It was a trade vessel whose crew was mad enough to sail the Red Sea despite the wars. When I came here, the Morning Dew had just set sail again, but I wasn't able to find anyone with information on Terra's whereabouts. Really? Then, did you see Terra? A young Eterna, black hair, blue eyes? Well, according to the mercenary, the ship ran aground up north. If that's true, and if we get lucky, we might be able to find something in the captain's chambers that could help us. A logbook, a list of passengers, something like that. Here, this is where the ship ran aground, apparently. Thank you. I appreciate it. How about a sip of spiced wine before you leave? Eterna specialty. All right, then. Good luck. Yes? Show me. By the name of the sun. Terra Zalayil. That's her. And... vouched for by Dal Mercer? Who's that? Right. Dal is a title in these parts, isn't it? Well, that explains why the Morning Dew's captain took a penniless Eterna with her in the first place. She had a nobleman who guaranteed her payment. But damn it, this is a lead. All we need to do is find this Dal Mercer person and we'll find Terra. Indeed. And hang on. Here, the first part of your payment, as promised. I'll talk to the innkeeper and see if he'll let me leave my caravan in Elrond sheltered somewhere near the tavern. Just meet me in, say, 1 day in Ark, alright? Do you know a good meeting point? Good. See you there.
From the velvet sky they fall.
What list?
Waka waka. She smiles.
Shivering hands and delirious eyes, brittle voices, a manic mind.
But I was here unexpectedly early at the time. I asked around and I found out that Dal Mercer lives in the old manor in the Nobles district. I'll scout the place out. Meet me in front of the baby goose.
Best wine in all of Enderal. Come, give it a try.
And dismay. Walls of fire and arrows of ice before you can.
In the shackles of lust, presented by the poets.
There you are. Great. I think I found Dal Mercer's manor. You see it? That old building over the river? Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. But it just felt, I don't know, wrong to just stand around doing nothing while Terra could be in the city. And hey, I did find the manor, didn't I? I asked myself the same thing. What? No. Terra is shorter and a lot more delicate. I think that's a man. Good plan. You lead.
What? Who are you?
I'm a friend of Dalmosis. A good friend. But, oh, for heck's sake, I'm Duncan. And I'm not a Sublime. You got that right. I'm from the Undercity. Well, a friend of mine told me that this place has been empty for a while because the owner disappeared. So I figured... Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's not as if these folks up here are starving anyway, are they?
Dalmercer disappeared? What is that supposed to mean?
That he's gone. And since he didn't have any friends or family, the steel crabs didn't notice.
Blazes. That's a joke, right?
Forget about it. That door won't budge.
So what? We'll just pick the lock then.
And what do you think I've been trying to do for the past 2 hours, madam? Sweet-talking the damn thing into opening?
Come on, let's take a look.
All right. Do what you want.
Yes?
Are you Dalmercer?
I am. Do I know you?
Not yet, but somebody told me to show you this.
What? Wait, are you Tara? Come on in. You must be freezing out there.
Ha! Here we go! A spare key.
Really? Show me.
No, I won't. We found the key, so we go in first. Yes? A vision. What are you, some kind of medium? Well, that's, good. One more reason to search the house, isn't it?
Whatever you do, I'm going in too. I was here before you. But, let the Black Guardian have you. I'm done with this.
Good choice. Looks quite tidy, doesn't it? Not like the manner of somebody who left in a hurry. All right. Now again, without that idiot pestering us. What do you mean by you had a vision? Huh. That's interesting. And you're sure that it was Tara whom you saw? Short, black hair, blue eyes? A coin. Huh. Oh, Tara. Where's this going? It doesn't make any sense. Come on, let's take a look around. We need something to go on. A cellar. But the door's locked. Let me take a shot at this. There we go. Let's take a look, shall we? What by the seven was that? Huh. Then this Doll Mercer was an arcanist? That's unsettling. But what is this place? Shrine. I don't like this. Let's look around.
She's beautiful.
Yes, that she is.
And there are more of us. How many are we in total? And will they also be coming here?
7. There need to be 7. And no, they won't. We will meet them at the castle. You're afraid, aren't you?
Me? Of course not.
If it's any consolation, I was afraid too, and some days I still am, even now after 7 years. But do you know what helps me get through these moments?
What?
The memory of how pointless my life had been before she appeared, and the prospect that for once in our lives we're able to do something with a purpose, something real.
Strange place, really. Do you feel it too? This tickling? Let's get out of here as soon as we can. Something real. Is that really what he said? I remember Tara saying the exact same thing. It was that one night when I woke up shortly before dawn, and the bed beside me was empty. I found her outside, wrapped in a blanket, looking into the sky. I sat down beside her and we started talking. At some point she said, "The worst moments are those when everything just feels so pointless. When I can't help but ask myself why I even exist." Either way, we eventually went back to bed. And there she told me that she was yearning for something real. Something that would give her suffering purpose, and show her that the mist was more than just a natural depression. Yeah, probably. Listen, you also said that Doll Mercer spoke of some kind of castle as a meeting point, didn't you? That means that if we could find out what and where this castle is, we might also find Tara. Come on, let's keep looking.
What do you want? And why should I care? Listen up, friend. You can do what you want on the lower floors, but I found this room before you, and first come, first serve. So let me do my thing and we'll be just fine. We'll see about that.
What a fool. Yeah, I'm all right. I only wish he hadn't forced us to do that. Come on, let's find what we came here for. Yes? Hmm? 8 years. A long time, I know. That's a vague question. Tiring, I guess. Sometimes very demanding. But it also has its upsides, of course. You're always on the move. I had probably already seen more of the world than most people see in their entire lives by the time I was 7. As I said, I don't really want to talk about it. Another time, perhaps. Show me. Huh. It does indeed. Looks a little like the statue down in that shrine, doesn't it? But... Wait. There's something engraved on the bottom. No idea what that's supposed to mean. Do you want to take a look? So? Yeah, but who? Wait, the museum. Isn't there a museum in Ark? Then let's not waste any more time. You go on ahead, okay? I'll meet you there once I've taken care of something. Will do.
Yeah, it's not as if I didn't tell them that already. We all...
Greetings! Some shifts never.
Blazes! I didn't see you coming. But good that you're here. Shall we go? What? Oh, never mind. Are you ready? I think the museum just opened.
Who there?
Well, would you look at...
I'm afraid we're not here for the exhibition. Do you... well... do you know a lot about artifacts?
That's my path. Why do you ask?
This. Have you ever seen such an idol before?
Show me. Ooh, interesting. These glyphs, they... Huh. That's peculiar. I first thought they were old Arazalian, but they also resemble Scaragian runes. Quite the concoction. But, yes, I think I've seen this kind of writing before, on another exhibit. That's a good question. I can't remember. But listen, why don't you take a look around yourselves? I have a lot on my plate today, and as much as I'd like to help you, work comes first. Just examine the other exhibits for similar runes, without touching them preferably.
Fair enough. Thank you for your help, my sir. Shall we? No such luck. No such luck. No such luck. No, nothing here. No, nothing here.
Yes? How may I be of service?
Impressive. Tara would have loved this place. No such luck. Wait. Yes. That looks promising, doesn't it? Let's get the curator.
Right, that was it. The rune tablet from the Dark Valley. Well, nobody knows exactly. Some treasure hunter brought it here decades ago. He claimed to have found it near the battlefield of the Blood Moon riots. Yes?
Blood Moon riots?
How may I be a... Yes. A sad chapter in Enderalian history. The Blood Moon rebels retreated to an old abandoned fortress named Castle Bleakstar. The battle went on for days until the Order finally stormed the place and killed every single rebel in there. The irony of the story is that the castle had already been deemed cursed. Apparently, the lord who lived there somewhere in the early 5000s conducted some, how should I put it, strange rituals there. Kilana Hammerstrike's advisors urged her not to make a stand there, but she brushed it off as superstitious nonsense. No, I don't. I believe that a crumbling fortress simply wasn't able to withstand a full-on assault by a division of keepers. That would be my guess. Wait, you're not actually planning to go there, are you?
We are.
But that's madness. Even the Guard and the Order avoid the Dark Valley now. It's been crawling with undead ever since the Red Madness broke out.
We'll be prepared. In any case, we owe you our thanks. You helped us a lot.
But... fine. Do what you must. Feel free to examine the rune tablet if you want to. I need to get back to work.
That's settled then. The place Dal Mercer mentioned must be Castle Bleakstar. Shall we go? Good. And thank you. For doing this, I mean. Let's meet at the Myrad's Tower near the Dark Valley, all right? I'll be there in a day or so.